Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. We're going to start with this one right here from Watcher Guru. It says, breaking, Europe launches first spot Bitcoin ETF. So obviously here we go again. Day by day, the U.S. continues to fall behind when it comes to the spot Bitcoin ETF stuff and this whole adoption of the crypto space. Man, it's just tragic. Even Tony right here says, bullish. This puts more pressure on scumbag regulator Gary Gensler in the SEC to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. EU has passed crypto regulations, MICA, and has approved a Bitcoin spot ETF. The U.S. needs to catch up. DAI hits it on the head. It says, great job, Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton. Hand over the lead to other countries. Our children are going to be living in a loserville instead of leading the way in finance. I guess you don't care since you're both already rich. I mean, talk about shade. I mean, that's real, though. I mean, obviously, they got their certain narrative and their agenda that they're pushing. We know Chairman Gensler is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Jay Clayton, he's making a boatload of money, acting as like he is the voice of reason and the voice of information in the crypto space. Now, after doing what he did when he was at the SEC, little to nothing, and then to drop the lawsuit on the on Ripple in the SEC versus Ripple case, and then walking out of the door, it's just shameful, man. We know it's almost time. The writing's on the wall when it comes to spot Bitcoin ETF. You have one of the most powerful, I don't even know what it are. I'm just saying entity, BlackRock, in the world, right? They've filed their spot Bitcoin ETF application, and it's showtime. So they're thinking January, but we'll see. I'm getting a phone call from the homie right now. He's gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to hit him back. So DAI says, I'm calling BS on this. He's heard it all right. This is the exact playbook of most Bitcoin maxis. They've closed their mind off to anything other than Bitcoin. It's a fear thing. The dirty little secret is that once it's known who the 4 Satoshis are, there's no reason to own it. It's inferior to the rest, and they know it. So this is what's the dude from Rich Dad Poor Dad? Robert Kawasaki or something like that. Let me go ahead and play this so you can listen into what he's saying. He's acting as if he don't know XRP.
I'm afraid I've never heard of XRP, and I'm really old-fashioned. I own gold mines and silver mines,
and
physical assets.
We love that.
This is money all over the world.
And I'm not trying to throw shade at the gentleman. People can have their views and points on him. I know he brings up some good stuff. I didn't personally read. I actually listened to the audio version of his book, which I thought it was a good book. It was a good read, a good listen, if you will. So just to act as if you don't know one of the biggest digital assets in the crypto space, knowing that we just went through an almost 3-year lawsuit with the SEC. Ripple's still going through litigation with the SEC. We're constantly under pressure. We're constantly under the microscope. We know we've been the laughingstock and the took on the negativity of the community, calling us crap coins and bankers coin and just a whole bunch of stuff, right? There's no way you don't know. And that's just the truth. It just goes to that narrative that he can't stand to, like he talks about how you're not going to own anything and how, the powers that be are, herding the sheep and all this stuff. But it's like, what is he doing? You're giving false information, you're not telling the truth. That's just my opinion. But like that's how I feel. It's like you're herding the sheep one way. You're saying you haven't heard of this or that. It's like, come on now. You got a big following, a following. Educate them on what's real. There's no way you don't know about XRP. And if you really look into it, how could you deny it? I mean, at least having some, a percentage, allocate a small percentage of your portfolio in it. It's the upside is astronomical in relation to the potential downside. And I put air quotes up. Crazy. I wanted to play this one from Mr. Intuitive. It says, one time for the haters, XRP the standard. So let me play this real quick.
Yeah, how did you get this card, man?
Haha, that's an easy play. XRP, the only digital asset that's not a security as a matter of law.
Hey, yep, and that's it. It's the only one with true legal and lawful clarity, right? BC Backer says BTC has fallen out of my number 2 holding and is now number 3. So he had put up another tweet talking about how he had dropped 5%. I think it was a few days ago. Now he's up to 20%. I think he's going to go to 50% of his Bitcoin is going to be allocated to XRP, if I'm not mistaken. So clearly he's been posting tweets. I don't know if I put it up here. he's been posting tweets about, hitting the 200, all his chart stuff. I think it's I don't know if it's the EMA or the MA, one of the moving averages, and he's been, pretty much showing the excitement that is building in regards of the XRP chart and where things are heading in altcoin market. Especially when it comes to like Bitcoin dominance and the correlation or relation to the regular stock market there. So he's saying he's pretty much funneling a certain percentage, up to 50% of his Bitcoin into XRP. He says, may move some ETH to XRP too. We'll post ETH XRP chart soon. So he's sensing something. And BC Bagger's one of the analysts, the TA guys that I follow, man, that I value and I trust in his judgment, and I formulate my own thoughts and opinions based on the information that he puts out, and he does a great job. So shout out BC Backer there. This is from Crypto Asset Guy. Says, I will say this again to warn you all: buy XRP at 65 cents is like buying BTC at $100. I'm being dead serious. I'm not even exaggerating. You still have time to secure your future. Act now. Investment opportunities like this only happen once in a lifetime. The train is about to leave, and trust me, the train is fast AF. And then Riz XRP had put this up. Look at this. Damn. Hey, the reason why look how fast I was moving, but hey, the reason why this is such a great like representation of how XRP moves. Okay, Rosie Rios already said the train has left the station when it comes to this space, right? XRP obviously is part of Ripple. This is a big thing, right? Rosie Rios is on the $100 bills. That's a signature that you see. I think it's on the lower left corner, right? So obviously the writing's on the wall already. If you look at the history of XRP, it's usually you have like those lull moments, right? When you think nothing's gonna happen, maybe you see some pullback or some dips, and then boom, it's going. But then when it goes hard, right? May get a little retracement, then boom, it goes. But it usually lasts like a span of what? I think it's like a week to 3 weeks or something like that. I don't know the exact timeline, but it's fast. A whole lot of nothing, right? And then boom. You know what I'm saying? Then obviously we go through our cycles and a whole lot of nothing, then boom. So that's kind of how it happens. And I think that's what the picture he's trying to paint. And quite honestly, just in my opinion, I've been in this space since late 2017 and I've seen, the ebbs and flows of this thing, right? Not just XRP, but the crypto space in general. Things happen like that. And for me, knowing that XRP in 2018 had an all-time high of, I think it was like between 340 and 380, depending on the exchange that you were using or looking at. It's even at $1 for me, right? And that's a high buy for a lot of people, right? That's how they would view it. But for me, I'm like, well, if I know it can go to $3.40 to be at its previous all-time high, what does that mean for me? If I bought $1,000 at $1, dude, I can almost 3.5x my money just to get to all-time highs. And that's not even to say what happens when we have price discovery, right? I don't know why people just like, even if you just wanted to, like, you could care less about XRP and Ripple, the company, and the utility of the XRP digital asset and all that stuff, right? If you were just to play the numbers and the probabilities, if you will, it's like, how could you not make that play type thing, right? So I think that's the gist that this crypto asset guy was kind of throwing out there. And we know it's showtime, man. The future's bright for XRP. Tony Edwards had put this up, responding to the financial service GOP. It says new chairman Patrick McHenry led Republicans on the Financial Service Committee in letters to FINRA and SC Gov regarding the shady approval of Prometheum as the only special purpose broker dealer for digital assets. So we talked about Aaron Kaplan and shady Prometheum and just the weirdness behind it all. We all know that it was a plant from Chairman Gibbs from the SEC and the Elizabeth Warrens of the world and all that stuff, right? But it's like, okay, what, more letters? Okay, this is, and I'm trying to tread lightly here. Okay, this is a step, right? But we've heard the talk and we've heard the speeches. We've seen the letters go out. Like, where's the action? I don't know all the ins and outs of the processes, so I'm going to pay my respects to that. But just based on the stuff we've seen in the timeline, how things have been unraveled, it's like, dude, when are we going to get past these letters and actually take more action, further action, something new, something different, really make an impact? Tony Edwards says, we all know Prometheum is a plant by scumbag regulator Gary Gensler and corrupt Senator Warren. These crooks need to be exposed. So I just made a video yesterday talking about we need investigations to start popping off, man. This shady stuff, it blows my mind how we have these platforms we have. Obviously now with the technology we have and these social media platforms, the truth tends to come out, right? And it's hard to run from the truth when you're doing dirt. And it's been evident. We talked about Dr. Peterson talking about you can't, alter and create this reality, without it snapping back and slapping you in the face type thing, right? And it's happening. Those walls are closing in. We already know Chairman Gensler's being squeezed tightly back into a corner. So let's just jump off jump off the edge now, right? Start opening an investigation into all this shady stuff. The cool part is there's a lot of powerful people that are probably behind all this, based on my, this is me speculating again, in my opinion, based on the information that's out there. We know that there's probably a lot of very powerful people behind all this stuff that, it's like a no for their names to be brought up. So who knows if it ever will happen. We know how politics work in this country, and we know the influence of money in the world. So it's tragic. This from DAI responding to his own tweet here, but he's talking about the whole Prometheum thing. So obviously he put this on June 17th, talking about this isn't a smoking gun, it's an atomic bomb. The SEC is setting up a Chinese backdoor in crypto until trying to stop American companies such as Ripple, Coinbase, and every other U.S. player. Red alert. So coming up here, he says, Chairman Patrick McHenry letter to FINRA and SEC Gov regarding the shady approval of Prometheum as only the special purpose broker dealer for digital assets. Excerpt, quote, in 2018, Prometheum and Shangyao Wangchang Blockchain Inc. entered into an agreement to jointly develop blockchain trading software. While the agreement was later terminated and Prometheum claims all the software was independently developed, the involvement of Chinese entity and technology developed in the early stages of Prometheum raises serious questions. The question is, did they terminate the agreement to give the appearance of no more Chinese involvement because they had already had their Chinese engineers develop it and didn't need them to be involved anymore? Which that's a great question, because remember, he lied. He literally lied when he was pretty much testifying, right? He was talking about, they hold, just like any other, I guess he was saying, I don't even know the terminology, but we'll say investors, right? Just like any other investors, they hold, they don't have any access to the code or to this or to that. But then in the video, it's talking about how they are literally partners with them. So that's why DAI is asking this question. Is like, yeah, it was just kind of like a front, if you will. Let me give you an example here. So just like just like I speculated based on the information that's out there, Mr. Dime Sedonips, right? Remember how he's talking about he just can't quite understand XRP, and we're short XRP, and I invest in Ripple. In my opinion, to just say, hey, I invested in Ripple, that's just to save his butt. If something were to come back at him, like, hey, I wasn't trying to do this or so that. I invested in Ripple. It's like, no, we know what happened, dude. You had over $500,000 of ETH early on to help, save the life of the Ethereum Foundation and Ethereum. Victor Buhner already said it. What else? What else are you trying to front and protect yourself from by saying, hey, I invested in Ripple, right? Come on now. This is kind of like the same thing here. It's like, okay, now that we seen the video, you said it yourself on video, which that's the thing that's crazy is they call us wild speculators and all this stuff and conspiracy theorists, but it's like we use their information, their words, them on video footage or audio footage or audio clips and documents. It's them. It's not like we're just making it up. So he's sitting here saying, oh no, we're partners. We did this and this. But then when it came to testifying, he was saying, no, they have no access to this or that. And then DAI saying, well, yeah, maybe you did that to have the appearance of no more Chinese involvement because they're already in it. They are the nuts and bolts of the whole thing, right? It's crazy, man. People think it blows my mind how they think they can get away with this or even try to squeak this by. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's hard to get away with stuff like this nowadays. Mr. Intuitive is responding to Mickle here. So obviously, I talked about another tweet that Mickle had put up in regards of Warren Davidson's stance on CBDCs and how he should stop having this negative narrative. Remember, he was saying, the evil doings of CBDCs and how Ripple's helping banks create CBDCs and all this stuff, right? And Mickle was pretty much saying like, hey, like instead of talking about all the negatives, let's come up with some sort of plan, if you will, or framework to where we can make it better and not do the evil side of it and work on the goods that CBDCs can do, right? So he was kind of going in this elaborate little tweet here, which is great, which I agree with. And then Mr. I hit it on the head, which I agree with this too. It's like, I could care less about Warren Davidson's stance on Ripple or CBDCs. I want to know why he's ignoring all the ETH evidence and still pushing ETH. I mean, boom. Seriously, we've been shouting that from the rooftops. DAI more than anybody. It's like, how are you not addressing this? We've literally laid it out for you. It's like if the FBI were to come in and start an investigation on ETHgate, it's like, dude, we've been showing you this for years. Like, where you been? What's taking so long? Why do you act like you got to start from ground zero? We have it all laid out for you right here. Start with this. I mean, we can literally show a fraction of the entire timeline and all the connections that we've uncovered in this community, right? And they can just start with just a fraction of it, and literally just them actually doing a proper investigation can come to the same conclusion in their own way. But it's like, it's not even like no one wants to address it. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to even talk about like the 4 Satoshis and all that stuff. Like, why is no one addressing these things? But they're quick to talk about Ripple and XRP in the negative light, right? But hey, but now that the SEC versus Ripple, when it comes to XRP being a security, that's already been litigated on. Summary judgment came out. XRP is not a security. Jay Clayton can't even speak on it. They're not even asking about it on Squawk Box. But like, where's all that talks that you've had? Why is no one talking about the ETHgate stuff? It's crazy, man. We're not idiots. This from Bitcoin Magazine says 52 years ago, the U.S. dollar was taken off the gold standard and its purchasing power has plummeted. A dollar today only buys 30% of what it could back then. This is why we Bitcoin. So then they show this line graph here. Man. Yeah, man. Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. Coming over here, we're currently sitting at a $1.2 trillion market cap. Bitcoin sitting at 29,197. Ethereum sitting at 1828, and then XRP sitting at 60 cents. Bitcoin Fair Greed Index sitting at 52. Man, it's a crazy world we live in. A lot of good days ahead, though. We got to stay strong out there. Like always, you got to stay positive and stick to your investing and trading strategy and profit taking strategy, okay? Because that's all that matters. You and your family. All right, and do your part. Do your part to fight the good fight like we've been. Make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto's Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there and be safe.